Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot. It's your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. We are all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. I do things differently here on this channel, so that being said, if the message does resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. There is no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing today, and I'm grateful to be here sharing it with you. So let us go ahead and hop to our prayer, and we'll get your reading underway. Today we are doing an ancestral message you need. And we are going to be using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle by Kim Krans. Okay. My beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading. Today I ask that the ancestors of highest light and love come in, give us the messages that we need at this time to help guide us on our journey forward, but to help us release that of the past. Whether that's our past or whether that's our genetic and DNA past that's been passed on through our ancestral blood. Knowing that no matter what happens on this journey, that they are walking the path with us. And most of them have walked a very similar path that we are now. While we may have taken on the burden of relinquishing that weight to Mother Earth, to Father Sky, to Godmother Moon, to Godfather Sun, to Source, wherever it is that we are relinquishing this burden, sometimes it becomes frustrating, disheartening, and overwhelming, because we wonder, why didn't anyone do this before? We wonder, why wasn't anyone else brave enough to do this so that we could benefit the blessings of a healed journey? But truthfully, at the base of it all, we know that you were all waiting for us because someone had to be the one to take a step into the unknown, to follow a path away from the path that was carved by our ancestors, to step into a journey that asked deeper, more. We had to let go. But I ask today that you step along this journey with us and remind us that we're not alone. That you are helping us to see with eyes of unconditional love. To walk a journey of unconditional love. And to step into an empowered state that maybe you did not get to experience in your own life, but that you will get to experience once we've healed the DNA connection. So today I ask for courage, for guidance, for love, for support. I ask that the warrior within us step forth and give the battle cry that we are ready to receive our wisdom and to become our own healed warriors, moving forward on the path fearlessly and boldly. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and onto this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho, Aseh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved ancestors. All right. So let's go ahead and give this a shuffle. The ancestor message you need. The ancestor message you need. What animal spirit oracle card will help us better understand this message today? The ancestor message you need. Okay, thank you. The ancestor message you need. Pile number 1. What animal oracle card will help us better understand the ancestor message you need? Whoa, thank you. Pile number 2. What animal oracle card will help us better understand the ancestor message you need? Thank you. Pile number 3. What animal oracle card will help us better understand the ancestor message you need? Pile number 3, the ancestor message you need. What oracle card will help us better understand that today? Thank you. All right, collective energy. I love this. The spider. Creation at its finest. You know, weaving the web. And I feel like the web is representative of all the ancestors that come before us. They were weaving it. And eventually one of us had to become the spider that took manifest in this world so that we could truly support ourselves upon the mistakes and the sacrifices and the successes of those that came before us. Was it always easy? No. Was it always meant to be? I believe so. And sometimes that's really difficult because we're seeing the struggle, or we're seeing our own struggles, and we're fearing like we're not strong enough to overcome them. But your ancestors are saying you are, because we're all here and we are helping you, and you've never been alone. Even though a spider's journey is a solo journey, right? No one helps them make the web. No one helps them hunt for their food. They do it all alone, and they found the best possible way that works for them in order for their survival. And that's what's happening now. It's like you're taking lessons and knowledge and wisdom from the DNA that's been passed into your blood, and that is giving you exactly what you need, not just for survival, but to thrive in this physical world. And with that, you're choosing the path of alignment. And alignment, a healing path, can be a very challenging path because it's asking us to let go of things that might not have been ours to carry, but we were carrying because it was brought down through our ancestral lineage. And that can feel very challenging, and it can feel even unfair, but it's not, because you're creating the world that you always wanted to. But you were the one that was brave enough to step up and say, I want to see a different life. I want to see a different world. I don't want to pass this on to my kids. I want them to be able to create a life of their dreams as well. And your ancestors have wanted that for you, but not many of them had that opportunity. We're in a very free time in life, in the world, in the physical realm. We're in a version of this world where we can do things that might seem unfathomable to those that came before us, right? Like, our health is good. We have science at our back. We have spirituality at our back. We have so many opportunities that are unfolding before us. We have the internet and new ways to make money. We have opportunities that they could have only ever imagined. In fact, we're living in the future. We all carry a high processing computer device in our hands. You know, when we think about these things, it's like you were brought to this time and space where you were allowed to have opportunities, and maybe they couldn't step forward because they weren't given the opportunities that you were. But you can bet your bottom dollar that they are walking every step of the way with you, cheering you on so that you can move forward. Look at this. We have the creator of prosperity through life's work and dharma. It says the spider is an ingenious creator, and that's who you are. And they want you to know that you're an ingenious creator, and you were given opportunity to be the ingenious creator that you are. Opportunities that they didn't have. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It is hard work, but the spider never tires nor becomes impatient. This card reminds us creativity is everywhere. Be process-oriented rather than results-oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Abundance follows, right? So you're seeing the results of ancestors who have woven pieces of this web, and you're weaving vital pieces to it as well. But maybe being goal-oriented has taken away the value of what everyone before you has gifted you with, which is wisdom and knowledge. And you get to deepen that wisdom and knowledge. Even if you didn't get along with your parents, or even if you didn't get along with your grandparents, these are coming from, it's a DNA, it's something that's vibrating in your DNA, and they want you to know that you're never without. You always have everything that you need in this moment. So when in balance, you're very appreciative, enthusiastic, and prosperous. But when out of balance, you can feel discouraged, tired, or forlorn. To bring into balance is playful creativity. So continue to create. You know, if you find yourself being drawn away from creativity, that's what had happened with a lot of your ancestors, and they want you to tap back into your creative potential, because your creative potential is going to offer up even more opportunities than you've already had. Opportunities that are nonstop, opportunities that are infinite. But tapping into those means being creative and being of yourself, being true to yourself as well. And even though maybe they didn't heal the things that you're having to heal now, I tell you, they are really proud of you, and they're really excited that you're doing this work, because they understand how hard it is. And while many of them may have wished that they had an opportunity to do that themselves, they didn't have it at their fingertips like you do today. And that's why they weren't able to take those steps. But it doesn't mean that they wanted you to have to burden it all. But they do see that you are shouldering quite a bit, and it is a huge responsibility, but you're doing it in a very elegant, flawless, and regal way, and that is something to be proud of. It's beautiful what you're creating. Don't doubt that for a second. Okay? Wow, what a powerful message to come in. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Oh, I have the milkshake song stuck in my head. Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was a freak like me? Don't you? Okay, I don't know why that's coming in. Anyways, we're going to leave it there. For pile number 1, we do have this dice with the North Node on it for you to choose from. Or we have this piece of dyed howlite. Pile 2, we have this dice with Neptune on it for you to choose from. Or we have this piece of sodalite. Okay, our pile number 3, we have this dice with Pluto. Or we have this blue apatite for you to choose from. You guys might hear the squirrels run across the roof. They get a little crazy. Alright, so we pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever pile you feel called to, that should be the one for you, and I will see you there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the North Node on it, if we can get it to possibly focus. Or perhaps you were called to this dyed howlite. Or maybe you felt drawn to this card during the shuffle. This is going to be a reading on the ancestor message you need. We're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. I do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, if the message does resonate with you, it'd mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply grateful to be spending it here with you today. So let's go ahead and tap in and find out, what is the ancestor message you need today? What is the ancestor message you need, pile 1? Okay, so we've got the 9th house, we've got Aquarius energy and Pluto. You know, it feels like the next part of your spiritual journey is community. There's a huge transformation that's on its way to you. And it's going to be how you connect with others. And it's not that you're not connecting with others in a profound way right now. I feel like you are. But I feel like this is changing. This is shifting in a very positive way. Where you're going to be able to connect and build friendships with people who are of like mind. And people who like are in it for the long haul with you, right? So I don't know why this is coming through, but like if you're writing a book or if you write a blog, something about writing is coming in, like where these are going to be long-time readers. If you're a musician, these are going to be long-time listeners. If you're an artist, these are going to be long-time painting buyers. Like they're going to buy your paint, they're going to buy your works of art. If you are someone that offers a type of service, like they're going to be long-time clients or customers. That's what this feels like. You're building a community where people are like, I'm really excited to see things that you have to offer. It's something that I really like. I really dig it. Right? It's really cool. And there's going to be huge transformation for you here, where I feel like you're going to feel really good about yourself, but you're also going to want to be inspired to keep going, right? Inspired to learn more, inspired to deepen your knowledge, your wisdom. And I feel like your ancestors are super excited about this because they've been wanting you to connect with Soul Tribe for a long time. And I feel like for you, Pile 1, Soul Tribe isn't necessarily about people in your life right now as much as it is about the community that you're surrounding or that you're building. So this could be like an online community. This could be a scientific community. This could be a community in your neighborhood. This could be a community of, like people who are volunteering, who are helping. But it does feel like a community, and there's huge, deep transformation. But there's also deep healing here with that as well, because you're going to be seeing people who want to support you, like who aren't trying to make you feel like you don't belong, or who are trying to make you feel like you'll never get there. And it's going to be really spiritual for you as well, because you're going to see the outcome of your hard work. Well, let's tap into this a little bit more. Today I'm actually going to be using the Ancestral Tarot, and I brought it out one other time. It's such a beautiful deck. Hold on, I do have the book out. Let me grab it. So if you're wanting to know, it's the Ancestral Path Tarot deck by Julia Crucia Watts. I'm not sure if that's how you say her last name, but absolutely a beautiful deck. It's humongous, though. It's really hard to hold. So bear with me, because it truly is. It's like 1.5 size of an oracle deck. So yeah, the ancestor message you need, Pile 1. The ancestor message you need. Ancestors, what would you like to tell Pile number 1? I feel like you have really come to this space where it's like you're doing something that you love, but you feel like no one is going to receive it. And your ancestors are saying that's not true. Like you're fighting old beliefs that have been passed down, or you're fighting like judgment from family, right? Judgment from those that have come before us, thinking that we can't do things differently because they believe they couldn't do things differently. This is the ancestor message you need, Pile 1. Okay, I feel like this one too. Yeah, these cards are humongous. The ancestor message you need. Okay, it's that one right there. Thank you. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Star. And yeah, so there's hope here for you, and there's also a really good outcome. I feel like the thing is being fearless on your approach and not being afraid to be vulnerable. So like if you're struggling, you know, share that with your community. It sounds kind of counterproductive or counterintuitive. It's like if you're saying like, you know, I struggle with putting out blogs every day because I feel like, you know, I'm writing about the same thing, or I feel like I'm not able to articulate what it is that I'm truly feeling, or I'm not describing things in the way that I want to describe them, you know. I feel like your community is going to reach back out to you and be like, hold on, like you have something so valuable and we love reading what you have to say, and we feel like it's super inspirational and we love the stories you put out, right? Like they're going to talk to you about it. I feel like, you know, like if you have an online community, even like here, right? Like if you're doing tarot or something like that, it's okay to talk about your struggles. You know, even I have struggles on here. Like even sometimes I have self, you know, doubt. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, was that really a good reading? Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I should post that, or, you know, and it's like having courage to do that. Like a lot of people that are judging you, that are saying like you're doing a bad job, or that, you know, you're never going to make it far. I'm going to tell you, those people are not people who are actually putting themselves out there and letting themselves be seen. And so being vulnerable enough to put yourself in front of an audience is a huge first step. I'm going to tell you, being vulnerable enough to talk about your doubts and talk about your issues and talk about like being transparent about the journey, that's another huge step of courage that so many people don't understand what that means or what that takes. You know, a lot of people that don't do the same thing that you're doing, they think it's easy. They think, oh, I could do the same thing. And then always in life, you hear people who say that, well, I could do it better. And personally, I have come to say, if you can do it better, then go do it better, because you're not doing it right now. So that's the thing. It's like you have to recognize, are the people who are putting you down, are they actually people worth listening to? The people who don't believe you, are they people who are living the life that you want to live? The people you need to listen to are people who are walking the journey and the path that you want to experience. Those are the only people who will have a valid opinion about the life that you're living. And I'm going to tell you what, those people, they're never going to tell you, oh, pile one, you're never going to get there. How could you do that? Like, you're never going to be seen, right? They're going to be like, keep going, keep going. One day it'll be worth it all. And that's what they're saying here. And so your ancestors are reminding you that there's something that's hidden within you that you're still uncovering, and that has to do with how you see yourself, and that has to do with how you're presenting yourself and putting yourself out there, especially when it comes to community here. So let's see, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. So there's been a lot of struggle here. You've got Saturn here and the Sun. You know, you see that there's been a lot of struggle with expression, but with Jupiter making an appearance over here, we also see there's luck that's coming in. We have the Eight of Wands. There's been a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety that's come up. And then we have the Princess of Sacred Circles, and this is the Page of Coins. So with this, they're saying there's so much luck on your side. There's so much abundance that's coming for you. And right now, honestly, I keep seeing that what has turned this is your ability to face your fear. What has turned things in your favor is your ability to face the fears that you've had in the past, to face the doubts, to face the negative self-talk. These are things that have turned your luck, because facing them alone has given you insight to what it means to put yourself out there. That's why so many people don't walk in their dreams, because they don't want to put themselves out there. They're too afraid of being judged. They're too afraid of it not being perfect, or they're too afraid of making a mistake, which is normal for humans anyways. We're gonna make mistakes, whether that's in things we do every day or things we're trying for the first time, right? And so your ancestors are saying here, it's like, don't let the fear win. Even though you've come so far, you already have so much to celebrate. And there's something here that you're going to reap a benefit of. You have the corn hanging in the back of this card, and corn is like a lifeline, basically. And so they're saying, we're going to give you this lifeline. You see her with her child here. So there's something here that's being reborn. There's something here that's being created as you go, and not to give up. So there's a transformation here waiting for you around the bend, where you're going to be connecting with people who see you. pile one. They see what you have to offer. They see what gifts you have. They appreciate the gifts that you have. And I'm going to tell you, pile one, there are always going to be naysayers. They're going to be people who troll you because they love negativity, loves company, and they want other people to be as miserable as they are. And let them be miserable, but that doesn't mean that you have to be miserable. It hurts when people judge you, or it hurts when people are trying to make you feel bad about yourself, of course. But the beautiful thing about our minds and our emotions is that we get to choose how that affects our day. We could see someone coming from a hurt place and say, they're hurt. I don't have to take that personally. They're dealing with a lot on their own. So I'm just going to leave that and not take it personally and not let it affect me. Or we can let that be the bane of our existence. So it's up to us how we see that. But most people were raised that it matters what other people say of us, but it really doesn't. It only matters what we say to ourselves, and it only matters if we believe ourselves. And so your ancestors are saying you have an opportunity to change things and to see the light again and to come into this place of truth with yourself and recognize the value and the gift. This is like the gift that you have to give the world. And it is something that is valuable to many people, even if you haven't connected with those people just yet. It doesn't mean that you're not going to connect with those people. It just means that maybe you haven't gotten there yet, and that's okay. Everything happens as it's meant to, when it's meant to happen. Interesting, we got the health card that came out. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. And especially with this 8 of coins, or this 8 of wands energy here. So, you know, fear and anxiety can keep us in a state of perpetual disconnect with ourselves. And taking care of your health is vital, but also taking care of your mental health and your spiritual health is going to help you stand apart when things get kind of dicey along the way. And they're saying that, you know, so much of the time in the past that many of us have chosen not to drive towards our dreams, not to choose our dreams, because we let health be a factor. And health, while it can keep us from doing certain things, also we have to remind ourselves, is it really truly keeping me from doing what I want, or am I using it as a crutch to lean on? Because sometimes we will do that. And so your ancestors are reminding you, don't let your health be the reason that you stop pursuing what you want to pursue. Rather see it, okay, you know, when I need rest, I'll take rest. When I need a respite, I'll take my respite. But when I have the energy, I'm gonna go full force ahead and give 1,000% of what I have that day, right? And empathy, I'm open to seeing both sides of the situation. And I feel like this comes back to that, seeing like when people are going to attack you, because it's going to inevitably happen. That's life. Unfortunately, there's no amount of us coming into a positive place where people aren't going to try to bring us down, because we're going to, the higher vibration that we get, the more we're going to irritate some people's internal demons, and they're going to attack us. And it's just seeing it from both sides of the situation. You know, I don't know if I've shared this story before, but I'll share it now. This is like way back in the day. This is even before I started the spiritual journey. I was actually going into Walmart one day, and there was this lady sitting outside, and she had 3 kids with her, and they ranged from ages of probably like 8 to 17. And this woman starts screaming all these profanities, like the B word, the W word, the C word. And, you know, I'm looking around like, who is she talking to? Like, what is going on? When I got closer to the door, she pointed right at me and she's like, you stole my man. And I was like, I don't know who you are. I was like, I've been with the guy I was with at that time. I'd already been with him for like 4 years. I was like, what are you talking about? And then I started panicking because my ex was a narcissist, okay? I started panicking because I was like, oh my gosh, like he's gonna accuse me of cheating. And I was like, and I don't even know who this lady is. I've never seen her in my life. I've not been with another person. Like, I'm always at home. I never go anywhere. So I started to panic because I was like only thinking about what was going to happen if he believed that I stole her man. And I'm telling him, I was like, I don't know this lady. I don't know who she is. And finally I asked her, I was like, if you know who I am, what's my name? That's what I told her. And she's like, that doesn't matter. I don't care. And she kept calling. I mean, she was going to town. And then I think the only saving grace for me in that moment is that her 17-year-old man chested up to my ex. And my ex is like, if you want to fight like a man, we can go right now. Just remember, this is all on video. So they're going to see you trying to come at me like that. And the 17-year-old was going crazy. And then security showed up and they escorted them off. And walking into the store, I kept telling him, I was like, I don't know who she is. I don't know who she is. Like, I don't know anything about her. I've never seen her before in my life. I've never seen her kids before in my life. And it was like one of the only times that my ex was actually in a decent mood. And he's like, it's cool. It's fine. We don't have to bring it up anymore. And I was like, so shocked, because it was like, usually that was a situation for him to attack me. But look, that's the thing, like, situations like that, they're gonna happen, right? Like, I didn't know her. I didn't know, to this day, I still have no idea what provoked her to attack me and what was going on. But apparently I stole her boyfriend, even though I don't know her and I don't know who her boyfriend was, or her man, I guess it was. But that's just it. Like, me being me in that moment provoked her. No rhyme or reason, just me being me provoked her. But I look back now and I recognize that I must have looked like the woman that she thought was sleeping with her man. And it was just, she needed someone to vent on, and I was there. And I was already not feeling good about myself. And that energy is like perpetuating, right? So that's why it got to me so bad. But now I can look at it and recognize it's like, it wasn't my fault. Nothing I did in that moment was my fault. Like, it just wasn't. And it's kind of laughable to me now, because I've healed from that and I recognize that now. But that's what your ancestors are saying. It's like, it's better for you to come from this state of empathy where you see both sides of the coin, where you recognize, like, they're in a hurt position. Right? They're trying to find someone to vent that out onto. That's that projection. Whether it's your fault or not, that's not what matters. It's just, don't let people's projection of you determine and decipher what you choose to do for yourself, right? Because it's going to happen no matter what. No matter where you go in life, no matter what you do, no matter what you say about yourself, like, people are going to do that. What's important is that you maintain power within yourself and recognize that you have control over you and how you show up. We have Skyfather, trust in the unknown, right? Seeing things from a higher perspective here too. And I know, Pile 1, that can be hard when people are attacking you, or when it feels like it's coming one right after the other. But sometimes it comes all at once to give us a huge trigger so that we can recognize that this was never ours to hold on to in the first place. Especially with Aquarius. And let me give Aquarians, especially Aquarian Suns and Aquarian Venuses, a huge round of applause, because Aquarius, they just don't care. Like, Aquarius, if you want to learn how to do this, befriend an Aquarius, let me tell you, because they will teach you how not to care when people are trying to force you into a corner or make you feel bad about yourself or make you feel bad about what you're doing. Because Aquarius is like, cool, bring it. I don't care. I'm still going to do what I do. Like, I don't care what you got to say. They're so good at that, right? So again, this is just your ancestors are pointing out, like, get into that method where you just don't care anymore about what people say to you, because it only matters what you say about yourself. Okay, that's the only thing that matters. And trusting that everything will work out as it's supposed to. You have luck here on your side. Lady, we have enjoy growth and reap the rewards. Yeah. So this makes me think of the Ace of Pentacles too. So there's an abundant new beginning here for you, a very prosperous beginning that's coming for you. And with this, they're just saying, just enjoy the process, enjoy the growth that you're going through, and know that one day you're going to reap the rewards of what you planted. It's promised that if you continue to cultivate, to show up, that everything will work out for you in your highest good and what you need. But right now, you do need a little bit of balance with Mawu Lisa. And this is a non-gender god, right? Both equal parts masculine and feminine energy. It's like coming into that center space, right? Where we're not letting one win over the other, right? Like letting our dark thoughts overwin our positive actions, or letting our positive actions completely deter or to cover up our dark thoughts. Like, it's about coming into that balanced state. And I know that's hard. It's like we need to have those dark thoughts, but that's a reminder of the fact that we'll always have shadow work to do. And it's not to just replace or supplement, like we always have to do shadow work, right? That's not what it is. It's just reminding us that the shadow is always a part of life. But the balance is to walk a fine line in between those, where we're balanced, we're at a state of harmony between the two. That's what's powerful in this world, because we live in a state of balance in the dualistic nature of the world. So how do we bring ourselves there? And that's reminding you to take care of your health, to trust in the unknown, take care of the spiritual, not be drawn in what people are saying about you. Be the brave spirit that you are. Your arrow is going to hit the mark. That's what I just heard right now. Okay, like, so whatever it is that you have tried to create, you're going to get there. You're going to see it come to fruition. All right, let's get one of these. Okay. Yeah, I love this. We have the Ace of Swords coming out. This is the air, the altar of air. This is the Ace of Swords energy with clarity. So the truth here is to remember to stay in that state of balance and to know that every moment you put forth on your journey, you're getting one step closer to whatever it is that you want to manifest. And they're walking the journey with you. But that fear that comes from the past, that comes from the lineage, right? That's been passed on, and it's unfortunate, but you're the only one strong enough to overcome it. We're the creature of fire. Choose freedom. And this is, I believe, the Page of Wands. And so this is about you choosing your inspiration, choosing your spirituality, right? We have that spiritual community here. There's a spiritual community here that's coming in, but choosing freedom and letting your freedom be the guide. But we also have 24, which is 6, Six is all about balance, harmony, resolution, seeing yourself through eyes of love. So coming back to that state of balance and letting the fire burn away the old so that you can rise refreshed and renewed. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this card today, and we're going to see what this says from the book for you, Pile 1, and what your ancestors need you to know right now. Oh, came out in the reverse. Nightingale. This makes me feel like the one from my other animal deck. It's like there's love all around. And it's reminding you that nothing can keep you from coming back to a state of love. Okay, so let's see what this says from the book. Nightingale, the air energy. So again, coming back to that state of truth and your heart. What your heart wants matters. So we weren't given our dreams for no reason. We were given our dreams because they matter. Right? Look at this. I love this. Fearless and bold. It says fearless voice, speech, communication, or song. Yeah, so there's something here you're meant to communicate. That's why I kept feeling like writing was coming in, because writing is such a huge form of communication. There's something you're meant to communicate to the world, and that's going to bring you closer to people who see your value and worth, that are going to connect you with your soul tribe and your community. It says a song of the nightingale is otherworldly. Right? You're in the world, not of the world. This simple brown bird, almost unnoticeable among the flashy plumage of other birds, transports its listener to the realm of poetry. Nightingale energy is with us when we write, compose, and especially when we sing. It reminds us that music heals the deepest wounds. This card indicates a need to open the bridge between the heart and the voice. Is there something you need to say? How long has it been since you sang? Turn it up, write it down, and let it out. When in balance, you sing, speak freely with kindness. When out of balance, you're shy or there's a lump in your throat. To bring into balance, listen to music and sing. Yeah, so there's something here you're meant to express to the world. Like, you're meant to share it. That's what you're going to be communicating with a community of people here. It's going to be transformative in your journey and helping you regain a sense of power, but it has to do with your spirituality and trusting that what you see, how you see it, and how you speak it is going to matter to the right people. So if you're finding people in your circle right now that don't care or that don't value what you're saying, just know these aren't the right people for me. And that's okay. Keep grinding, keep moving forward. And that's what your ancestors want to share with you, because you were the one that came to carry these burdens, but you were the hope and the freedom for the lineage. And that is, even though it feels like a curse at times, it's actually a very beautiful thing because it stops with you. So all your children's, your grandchildren, everybody that comes after you, they're going to experience a much different life because it ends with you. So this is what I see here for you today. If you felt like this was your reading, pile one, leave a star below and say, I choose to let myself shine, knowing that I'm valuable, I am worthy, and I have something important to say. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides, and a special shout out to the ancestors for coming through on this message today. And until next time, pile number one, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Neptune on it, perhaps you were called to this piece of sodalite. Or maybe you felt called to this card during the shuffle. This is going to be a reading on the ancestor message you need. We are all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. I do things differently here on this channel, so that being said, if the message does resonate with you, it'd mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything down below in the description box. There may be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. All right, your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply grateful to be here sharing it with you. So let's hop to it and find out, what is the ancestor message you need, pile number two? What is the ancestor message you need, pile number two? All right, so we've got the first house, we've got Leo, and we've got Mars. Something's changing about you and how you present yourself to the world. Also, if you guys hear that noise, that poof and stuff, it's the squirrels. They are so loud, and they jump around and run around on the roof, and they make so, I mean, just, it's all day long. It's because we're right underneath this tree, and they use the top of the RV as a springboard, which is amazing. And sometimes they run across it and they're chasing each other. So I'm just letting you know, if you hear that, that's what that noise is. And also my AC might kick on and off. But yeah, there's something here where you're changing the way that you present yourself to the outer world. You're feeling a lot more confident, a lot more grounded, and a lot more comfortable in your skin. And your ancestors are really proud of you. And for that, there's like a reward of leadership here. So this could be a promotion at a job, a new opportunity. This could be leadership in a community. This could be... This could be helping people. This could be something new. It just feels very new here. I feel like you thought you were broken at one point, and like there must have been a lot of drama around you, a lot of fighting. And your ancestors are acknowledging that. But that you had found some way, shape, or form to stay in alignment and to stay empowered and to show up from a place of setting boundaries and being courageous and still finding time to face your inner child and to heal your inner child. And I feel like a lot of what has happened, especially over the last year for you, pile two, has been focused on letting go of disappointments and letting go of feeling like if somebody's arguing with you, like it's your fault or it's somehow you're the one to blame, And you're letting all of that go and allowing yourself to see your value and your worth. And now, because of that, you're exuding a much different aura out to the world. Like, it's basically, don't F with me. I don't F with you. Y'all hear that song? I do not know who sings that song, but that's what's coming through. I do not remember the singer of that song. But yeah, it's like, people don't mess with you. They don't. They're just like, nope, we're not going to mess with pile number 2, because if we do, we'll probably get torn apart. And I feel like most of the time, like, you're not very aggressive, but I do feel like you are someone who's very truthful. And sometimes the truth can be more brutal than being aggressive, and that's why people are like, no, we're not going to mess with you. But I feel like there's also a lot of help from your ancestors. So if you had an ancestor that you knew, or that you know, that was very straightforward and blunt, that just didn't let anybody get the better of them, they are for sure coming through here. I'm hearing like grandma, but I'm also hearing like a medicine woman is coming through. So like, and I'm seeing like those big things filled with feathers, you know, where they go around and they kind of look like they're smacking people with them, but they're just cleansing the energy with them, like sage bushels and stuff like that. Like, I keep seeing this. So this could be someone that you're physically working with that's coming through and reminding you that it's okay for you to stand in this very powerful place and to not let anybody force you into something bad. Or so, because I feel like you're a very gentle soul, and I feel like people take your gentleness as ease for being a stepping stone, or ease for being someone that will become a doormat for their dirty feet and their dirty laundry and their dirty words and their word vomit and this, that, and the other. And that's where maybe you were in your past. You're not anymore. And there's this ancestor that's helping with that. Like, they're trying to cleanse you right now of that energy and help you really stay encouraged in this energy of being honest and forward, very forward here. Some people might say that you're abrasive. That's something that's new. Like, oh, you changed, pile 2. You used to be so sweet and so innocent, and now you're cruel and mean. And no, it's because you are learning how to be very clear about these boundaries, and you're not allowing people to step over them. Because I feel like people stepped over your boundaries before, and they just never took it seriously. And so instead of, if you're not going to take my boundaries seriously, then I'm going to make you take me seriously. And that's the energy that's coming through here that your ancestors want you to know about. So I'm going to be using this deck today. This is the Ancestral Path Tarot deck by Julia Kusia Watts. All right, here, I'll show you that in just a second. These cards are massive, at least for my tiny hands, so they're bigger than my oracle cards, but this is the author of the deck, if you're interested. These are beautiful cards. They're really beautiful. It can be used if you've learned Tarot Marseille, or if you've also learned Rider-Waite-Smith, because there's really no numbers on them to follow. So I just got them because they were great for ancestor readings. On the bottom of the deck, yeah, we have the Ace of Staves, which is the Ace of Wands. So, yeah, this could be an ancestor that came from ancient Egypt, or you have ties to ancient Egypt as well. But I also feel like there's an inspiration here, but also tapping into your passion. Tapping into, yeah, a transformation with death. And then the Ace of Cups, holy moly, and the Two of Cups, whoa. And then Two of Coins. I can't with you. There's a lot of synchronicities here. So they want you to open up to your personal power, because that's where the transformation happens, right? Not being afraid anymore of what once tore you down, right? Gaining this wisdom. They're helping you tap into this wisdom, and you're exuding this energy of frightening yourself. Like, again, I don't mess with you. Like, that's what this energy is. Like, people are realizing, like, oh, I can't mess with pile 2 anymore like I used to, because they're going to bite my head off. But you're not really biting their head off. You're just being direct in a way that you've never been before. And so there's a huge transformation here that's coming, that's helping you to reconnect with your love of self. and to empower yourself and to believe in yourself, but more importantly, to respect yourself. And this is helping you to connect with the divine in a much more profound way. So I do feel like with the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands here, this is someone that you've been working with without maybe realizing you're working with them. Like you could have an ancestor that comes through that's a very aggressive, or you have a guide. Maybe you have a guide that is by a certain name and they're very aggressive when they come through, like when they're helping you overcome really difficult situations. They say things that you only wish that you could have dreamt of, and they use you as a channel for those things. And that's what they're saying, like, that's me coming in. Like, I'm tired of people using you. I'm tired of people abusing you. I'm tired of people doing this. And I want you to know that you have this within you. This resides within you. I'm only able to channel this through you because it also exists in you. And it's okay for you to be in this powerful energy, to not let people make you feel small anymore, because you've felt small for such a huge portion of your life, and we want that to come to an end. They also deeply love and cherish you, okay? And this could be a passed on lover, but I really feel like this is someone who you've had multiple lifetimes with, or you have spent multiple times channeling this person or this ancestor, and they are just so happy that they get to be with you each time you live a new life. And you know, while the Two of Cups can depict romantic love, it's also a very sound, stable connection with someone as well. So again, it's not necessarily romantic. I feel like between you and this ancestor is just something that's it's very familial. That's what it is. It's just you guys are family. You know, they are ancestors, so they're family. But it's just they're like your mom, or they're like your dad, or they're like the embodiment of both your mom and your dad and your best friend and your child. You know, like they embody all of those things for you. But when the going gets tough, they're the ones that channel through your tough side, and they want you to continue to embrace that part of yourself. Yeah, we have the Five of Cups. Interesting. Okay, we have the Two of Wands. Wow. And then we have the Eight of Wands. This came out in pile 1. So here, you know, the Five of Cups in the Tarot Marseille talks about networking and connecting with new people. So the more that you connect, the more you're going to be given this opportunity to lean into something that at one point scared you, that at one point was filled you with a lot of anxiety. You don't want to hurt people. You're very empathic. You're very kind. You're a gentle person who lives from a place of compassion. And I feel like for some of you, seeing people who are very forward like this, where it felt like a dream, like I wish I could say things like that. There's also a part of you that's like, I don't want to say things like that because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. Like, I know what it's like to have my feelings hurt. I don't want them to, you know, I don't want other people to suffer because I'm trying to be forward or straight with myself, you know. But at the end of the day, they're saying like it's important for you to network with people and to continue practicing these opportunities to set these boundaries that you have. So if you're like on an online dating app and you talk to somebody and then you only talk to them like twice and they're suddenly like, hey, let's go jump in the sheets together, and you're like, ooh, no, that's not who I am at all. Like, I want to build a real connection here. What the hey, you know, like maybe before you would have ghosted them because that was more comfortable than actually saying how you felt. And what they're saying is we're giving you an opportunity to say how you truly feel, because you need to in order to express yourself. Because there's going to be times when things happen face to face. You're not going to be able to just ghost people. I mean, you could totally pull an Irish goodbye, but it's not going to solve the problem. So we're giving you opportunities right now in order for you to express yourself in a way that you have not had an opportunity before, or that you felt afraid of before. They want you to know that they're stepping the journey with you. So there's this, that's why presenting yourself is very different now. Because you're always going to give off this sweet, loving, kind energy, but now it's much, it's not that it's hidden. What's coming off first is the don't mess with me. And that's why your ancestors been channeling through you for a long time, and now they're ready to step back and give that power to you. So it wouldn't surprise me if you feel like you're a channel, or if you feel like you have psychic medium abilities, or like if you're able to receive very, very direct messages. That's especially true for those of you that feel that way. But this is something that they've always wanted you to embrace, even since you were a little kid. But when you were a little kid, it was hard because you were so dependent on the people around you, and the people around you were not very kind to you, and it made you feel smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And they don't want you to feel small anymore. They want you to feel empowered. They want you to know that being a leader means sometimes saying things that are very uncomfortable but that are necessary. And that's why I feel like with the networking, the Five of Cups here, they're showing you, we're giving you opportunities to embrace and to follow through with this discomfort so that it becomes something that's more second nature to you, where when someone jumps in your DMs like, hey, I would tap that, you're like, no, I'm not into this and I'm sorry, I need you to go. Or you're going to tell them, that's really disgusting, I don't know who you are. And to just say that shows me the type of character that you are, so I'm blocking you now. But to physically, verbally say it instead of just blocking someone, like tell them why you're blocking them. Not to give them a chance to come back and try to defend themselves or anything like that. It's just physically having the opportunity to say it so that you can respect yourself enough that when those opportunities come face to face, and I know they don't feel like opportunities, pile two, you're saying like these are opportunities, but they don't feel like opportunities, but they are. They are, because it's practice, right? We have to practice some way, shape, or form. And inevitably, things are going to get hard and dicey face-to-face at some point in our lives. Like, that's not something that we can run away from. That's not something we can hide from. There's going to be moments in your life when you're going to have to face somebody and actually tell them how you feel, because you can't run and hide. And that's why this ancestor is very forward right now. They want you to have as many opportunities as possible to be the person that's standing in your corner. They're there for you, but they need you to be there for you too. And that's what's coming through here. It's very important, because that actually is going to help you feel more empowered and passionate and free in your life. And it's going to give you a new sense of optimism, and you're going to feel more like exploring, where maybe right now you might be kind of like a homebody or kind of like hermit mode all the time. And I feel like that's actually against who you are. It's not that you have to be extroverted. That's not what they're saying, but I feel like you're somebody who wants to explore and get out there and see the world and to find different cultures, or to, you know, just be around and see new things. But there's this thing that's holding you back, where it's like, I'm too afraid to speak what I need to speak because I don't want people to feel hurt, because I'm such a sensitive soul. And that's keeping you feeling small, and that's why it's keeping you from exploring the world in the way that you've always wanted to, whether that is international or local, right? And that's what they're saying here. They want to give you that opportunity, and you're the only one who can take that. So that comes from letting those moments that are uncomfortable be, instead of being burdens, become opportunities. It's the way you're framing it and the way you're looking at it. Okay, so we have balance that popped out here. It says, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. And that's, again, how you're framing it. Are you judging it? Are you seeing it as a burden? Are you judging it, or are you seeing it as an opportunity, right? Like, so that's just looking at it from a state of balance, recognizing that no one is free from the experience of life. Some people are kind, some people are not kind. And no matter how kind you are, eventually you're going to run into an unkind person. It's just something that's going to happen. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way of the world, because there's so many people that live on this world. What is there, like 8 billion people alive? I mean, just thinking about it in that terms, it's so insignificant, because it's like you're thinking that the shadow outweighs the light. But even though there's only so many light beings here on the world, we're just enough to keep it in balance, even if we're few and far in between. So looking at it from those terms, it's realizing that all those shadow beings, if you will, or the people who are in the shadow, are the ones that are teaching me how to embrace my own internal shadow. They're the ones that are mirroring back to me whether I'm empowered or whether I'm coming from a state of fear. And that's what your ancestors want you to know. Acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, there's just, sometimes people are going to be really kind, and sometimes people aren't. And I wish that I could tell you that the more you grow and the more you glow, the kinder people are going to get. But it's just, I can't say that they get meaner. I just think you become more aware. You become more aware of the lack of kindness in people. Like, you're not trying to put it under a rug somewhere, say like, oh, they're just, you know, haha, whatever. You're realizing like just some people just cannot smile. Some people cannot be kind to one another. They just can't. They don't have the capacity within themselves to do that. But that doesn't mean that we have to let those people make us feel small, or we don't have to let those people keep us from speaking. Like, if they cross a boundary, they should never be the reason for us to just give up our boundary. Yeah, so you might have resonated with pile 1. There's a lot of similarities here, but for sure, this came out in pile 1 too. Trust in the unknown. Yeah, so trusting, seeing this from a higher perspective. The eagle's really standing out here for me. Just like realizing that you're soaring to really high heights, and in that you're going to be seen as a leader. You know, like the eagle is the king of the sky. It flies higher than any other bird. It also is the most daring out of some of the birds. I mean, think about how they fall in love with each other. They have the love fall, right? Like, they fall from the sky and they clasp their claws to each other, and they have to regain flight before they hit the ground. Otherwise they won't make it, you know. And it's just thinking about it in terms of that. It's like there's certain things that you're going to go through that are absolutely frightening, that are absolutely terrifying. But if you can't create an environment where you know you'll always have your back no matter what arises, then the things that you're going to go through are going to seem very overwhelming and impossible to get through. And that's why it's important for you to be the person in your own corner. Look at this. We have sacred contracts with Isis coming through here. So there's going to be times when you meet people in your life and it's going to be something that was planned for you to connect with this person, whether that was a good person or a seemingly not so good person. There are certain areas of your life that these are going to be bound situations. So instead of saying and asking, well, is this a sacred contract? Look at every person you meet as a sacred contract, right? You just look at it as a sacred contract. This is something that I'm gaining. This is something I'm learning. This is something I'm observing about myself. And when you look at it that way, again, you're reframing it. It's no longer the burden that it once was. It becomes the opportunity. Yeah, life force energy. And this is about you honoring your body, honoring your health, honoring your physical vessel, honoring who you are in this moment, right? This is what's going on inside. Are you taking care of yourself, right? That's what they're saying. We want you to stand in your corner. We want you to take care of yourself. All right, let's see. Get one of these out. Ancestor message you need. Pile number 2. Oh, my neck just popped, like right at the, I don't know, the base of my neck and my spine where they meet. I don't know what that's called right there. Oh, I felt so good. That's like telling me like there's a truth here that needs to be seen. There's a lot of pressure. It was giving me a headache for just a minute. And so I feel like this is something that makes you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't. Like, I just don't have the capacity in me, but the capacity is there because otherwise your ancestor wouldn't be able to channel this through you. So if you've had moments where you've been like, what you would consider to be a total B or a total jerk or something like that, like that is your ancestor coming through saying like this exists within you and it's okay for you to embrace this. Not to be a jerk to everybody. Are you really being a jerk? You know, like, are you truly being a jerk in that moment? Or are you saying what you need to say? And that's the way to look at it. Yeah, the unknown, the enigma here. This card is just talking about embracing the unknown. We had that trust the unknown. So this is a very new energy for you, but it's a new way of seeing the world. But look, they're pouring the sand over her eyes and it's coming down underneath her jaw, right? So again, it's the way you see the world and how you speak it out into the world. Right? That's what this feels like. It's trusting the unknown. You might feel like this isn't a part of who you are, but it is, and it always has been, and it always will be. Yeah. Hunter, track down your fears and your desires. So facing your fears is going to help you gain access to your desires here. Right? The hunter. Become the hunter instead of the hunted. And that's what you're doing by stepping up into this powerful energy. That's that leadership energy. It feels abrasive. It feels aggressive. It feels very blunt, but it's what you need to move to the next chapter in your life. You're so soft and sensitive, and that's not a bad thing. Okay. I'm not saying like, how dare you, or you need to get over it. No, that is such a gift in this hardened world. But also, it's safe to say that being soft and sensitive has allowed a lot of situations to unfold when you didn't have the backbone or the necessary hardness to protect yourself. And so your ancestors saying, I need you to have this hardness because it's going to serve you exponentially in the future. The root of air. I believe this is the page this is the Knight of Swords, I believe. Explore. What was I saying? Like, you want to explore the world. You want to get out there and experience different things, but this is keeping you from experiencing those things because of fear of how people are going to treat you or fear of how people are going to show up. And the more that you stand up for yourself and take those opportunities that arise to speak your truth, to say what you need to say, the easier it will be for you to put yourself out into the world and be seen exactly as you are. You're meant to be a leader. You're meant to be seen, okay? So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. Yeah, of course we have the eagle with the Sky Father. I kept feeling like the eagle is something very important here, and then we have the eagle coming out. Whoa! The king of the sky. That's just it. And kings, you know what? That's the thing. Like, would you think if you were in times where there were kings and queens, which I know they still exist, but think about that. Like, if you were a king or a queen or royalty, you would be expected to have some sort of authority over yourself and over others, right? And this is having authority over yourself. And that's what this feels like, okay? Look at this. All-pervading power. Wow. Power. Power. Internal power. Okay? That's what they want you to grasp onto. Then we have the truth seeker and transforms karma, right? So we're transforming our karma, this past, that past of feeling like I have to be weak so that I don't hurt people's feelings. That's not the case at all. Okay? It says the noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation, the opportunity. Okay, not the struggle, it's the opportunity. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You are stronger than you think, eagle child. Exactly. I love this message for you, pile 2. When in balance, you're bright, radiant, and you have challenges or you're challenging. When out of balance, you can be controlling. And to bring into balance, I cannot make this up, step into the unknown. What? Step into the unknown. So embrace the unknown. How many cards? Like, you got trust the unknown, enigma, the unknown, step into the unknown. Okay, this is a new journey for you. This is a new feeling. This is a new way of being. But it's not something you should fear. It's something you should embrace because it's going to help you so much on the journey moving forward. And that's what your ancestors want you to know. They want you to trust that process and trust that you are capable of doing it. Give yourself more credit, right? You deserve to be heard and seen, and you deserve to set those solid boundaries that people respect because you respect yourself. So what a phenomenal reading, pile 2. This is what I see for you today. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little eagle emoji down below and say, I respect myself and I set solid boundaries. And if people disrespect me, they lose access to me. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It'll have everything you need. So I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides. And a special shout out to your ancestors for coming through on this message today. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Pluto on it, or perhaps you were called to this piece of blue apatite, or maybe you felt called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on your ancestors' message right now. I forgot the question. Oh my gosh, we're just gonna go with it. It's the ancestor message you need right now. I have had it today, guys. I have had it. So I'm here with you. I promise I'll be good. We're just gonna get through it. We're gonna laugh through it as well because I feel like that's important, owning our mistakes, but we're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. I do things differently here on this channel, so if the message does resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Now, triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply grateful to have you here. So with that, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out the ancestor message you need right now. So, what is the ancestor message you need right now, pile number 3? The ancestor message you need right now. It's so funny because when I started today, like, I was all over the place. I was trying to write an exclamation mark and I totally drew an upside down triangle, and then I drew a regular triangle, and I was like, I don't know what's going on with my exclamation mark today, but it just never looked like an exclamation mark. And so I feel like this is synchronistic because it just now came back and I've had a long day of readings today. And so I'm on your pile and I'm like, okay, for it to come back right now, I feel like that's where you're at energetically. You're just like, all I can do is laugh and move on, or just feel like I'm not really connected, or I feel like I'm not really able to, like that, like I feel kind of discombobulated right now. That's the energy, like all over the place, right? Just nothing seems straight. Nothing seems grounded right now, but I feel like that's interesting that it would come out on your reading because it's something that you maybe have been dealing with yourself, is not feeling like yourself, or not feeling like you're able to do what you need to, because it feels like every time you try something, it gets messed up, or it's not very creative, or it's not worded the right way, or, you know, whatever it is, it's just kind of like all over the place. Like, I just want to scrap it and start over from the beginning. But I also feel like there's power in continuing on, even though you're making these little mistakes or these seemingly huge errors. They're actually going to help you grow, and that's something that your ancestors want to bring forth. You might hear my AC turn on. That's what that noise is in the background. But let's see what we've got. Well, they lined up just like that. Look, we've got the 4th house. We've got Aries energy. And we have the North Node. Yeah, you're on the right path. Like, so that's interesting that they wanted to talk about that. I feel like this is also something that you're healing from, is being really cruel to yourself, right? Why do I hear that song right now? You gotta be cruel to be kind in the right measure. Cruel to be kind, it's a very good sign. Cruel to be kind means that I love you, baby. You gotta be cruel to be kind. So, okay, I understand why they want that to come out. So, along the way, you learned that cruel energy was how people showed love. So, like, you know, when people love you, they're like, oh, you'll know that I'm not mad at you because I'm gonna pick on you, or because I'm gonna tease you, or I'm gonna make you feel bad about yourself. Like, that's the energy that I'm getting here. It's like you've had a lot of people that have picked on you along the journey, and it's been really cruel, and it actually has made you feel bad about yourself. But it's also something that you may have picked up along the way too. It's like, well, I'm just giving people a bad time. Well, why do we call it a bad time? It's not a good time, is it? Not at all. No, it's not a good time. I'm giving you a bad time. But I've always thought about that. Like, it's such a weird way of putting it, but that's what's coming in. It's like there's people here that maybe from your childhood, so this could have been your mom, or this could have been your siblings, or this could have been someone that was a Cancer and Aries in your life, or someone who had Cancer and Aries placements highly aspect in their chart. You could have Aries in the 4th house. You could also have Cancer in the 1st house coming in. But this is someone who was not very nurturing to you growing up. Like, they just kind of wanted to make you feel bad about yourself. You know, like, you could have been a very beautiful child and they called you ugly, and you had issues with your self-image growing up. Or you were a really talented drawer and they're like, oh, this is nothing I would hang on my fridge, right? Like, it's terrible. But everyone else is like, you're amazing. And you were always believing this person because their opinion mattered to you. And that is like, that is like, you learned that cruelty was love, right? Cruel to be kind means that I love you. Like, that's not like it's almost like you've never actually received kindness in your life, or you never actually received someone who genuinely wanted to see you do better in life, or to see you succeed in life. There was always met with sarcasm, or was always met with someone just trying to tear you down and make you feel bad about yourself, or was always met with someone who had something to say about what you created, thinking that they knew better than you did, even though they don't do anything that you do. And that's what's coming through. And what your ancestors want you to know is that this is something you're healing from, but you're already on the right path. Like, what you're doing matters, okay? And you're doing a good job of it, but it's like right here, right now, you're healing from something that's coming up from the inner child, and it's kind of been a struggle, right? Like, when the inner child comes up for healing, it's not comfortable. It's oftentimes makes us face a lot of uncomfortable feelings that we experienced as children, right? Like that discomfort and that feeling of not being good enough, or that feeling of having to change ourselves just so that we could be liked and loved. And that's always an uncomfortable place to be at. And so this discombobulation that you're feeling right now is just coming up as a byproduct of doing some internal healing, and to not be afraid of it. Like, let it be, and give yourself space to laugh at yourself, right? There's no reason to be so serious. You're not doing a bad job at all. You're actually walking in your North Node, and you're coming really, really far with that. So I'm going to be using these cards today. They're the Ancestral Path Tarot deck, if you're wanting to take a look at them, by Julie Kushia-Watts. It only comes with a little white book. It doesn't come with more, but they're just beautiful cards. They're humongous though, so for those of you that might have small hands like me, they're really, really hard to shuffle. So I'm just pointing that out, but I still love them. Alright, so let's find out the ancestor message you need. I feel like you have a lot of shoulder issues too, like really tight shoulders, or you feel like really closed off, like your heart space is really closed off. I'm getting really like this really tight feeling in between my thoracic spine and my neck. So it just feels really, really tight right there. So I kind of like am sitting pretty far away right now because I'm trying to straighten out my back because it's really uncomfortable. But I feel like it's like carrying a weight on your shoulders, and the weight is not something that you're meant to carry, because it's something that other people have given to you based on the way that they've talked to you, or based on the way that they made you feel about you being you, right? Like if they called you ugly, or if they said that you weren't good enough. And this is like childhood. So this is coming from family. That's what this feels like. Also, the other thing is that certain cultures, this is something that's common practice in certain cultures. You know, it's like I study Spanish. Like I'm learning how to speak Spanish, and I was watching this podcast in Spanish not too long ago, and it talked about how she's from Argentina, and she went to Argentina, and she lives in Australia right now. When she went to Argentina, she went to the supermarket. She was at the supermarket buying something, and when she gave the money, the lady at the cashier, she said, "Oh, hey, here you go, fatty." She called her gorda. She's like, "Here you go, fatty." And she was so shocked because she'd been living in Australia for a long time, even though she was from Argentina. But for a minute, she was shocked because that's not something that they do in Australia, and she'd grown accustomed to it in Australia. But then she went further on to explain that this is what we do in Argentina. Like, we call people nicknames, and their nicknames oftentimes have something to do with their physical being. And while she was saying, it's a term of endearment, it's a cultural thing, right? But sometimes that might not mean anything to everybody. You know, like sometimes you could grow up in a culture where that's a cultural thing, but it could still feel bad, and it could still weigh on your self-esteem. So, and they're saying that like right now, that's what you're healing from, is taking all of that really personal, that cruelness that you were carrying, That's what's healing right now. So the ancestor message you need. Whoa. That one right there. Thank you. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands. The Four of Staves in this deck. Yeah, shoring up old patterns, letting go of old beliefs, letting go of things that were keeping you in a state of lack. I cannot. The Eight of Wands has made an appearance in all three piles. And the Eight of Wands is talking about fears, our fears and anxieties with life, our fears and anxieties having to do with what's going on around us and what we don't want to face. But this is what you're facing right now, is this thing that you swept under the carpet for a long time, or that you buried somewhere in the back of the closet with all the other skeletons. And it's finally coming up to a head here, and it's asking you to heal that. And in healing that, it's also making you feel a little bit disconnected, because you're still learning how to trust that you have the talent or the skill or the ability without needing validation from others. And that's what's coming through here. And so it's a new feeling here for you, okay? But you're also learning how to be kind to yourself, when maybe you grew up learning that it was better to be cruel to yourself, or that it was common to be cruel to yourself. Like, oh, well, we give everybody these awful nicknames. And once a nickname, like, that's the thing, like, once somebody gets a nickname, at least, I mean, I lived with Mexicans for 8 years. And so it's like, as soon as you got a nickname, that was it. Everybody in the family called you that nickname. Like, that was it. Mine was Chula. That was what mine was. It was, everybody called me Chula. And so it was a nickname for this guy that was a singer. And the reason they called me that is because my ex was singing a song, and he said he dedicated to me at the beginning when I met his family. And of course it was a family reunion, but their family reunions happen every weekend. And so it's just a family get together, but the whole family's there. There's like 1 million people there. And that was it. I became Chula. And so that was it. That was who I was. Nobody knew my name. Nobody asked for my name. It became my nickname. And so I get that. Like, I understand that. But sometimes you don't realize that those nicknames can actually really weigh on a person. Like, just because it's fun for you doesn't make it fun for everybody, right? That's what's coming through here. So yeah, we have the 9 of coins here, the sacred circles. We have the 10 of sacred circles. Wow. And then we have the Fool. Yeah. So this is a new beginning. Look, and she's using these cards here in this. So there's something here about being able to channel something new for you, and the channel of abundance. So it's like letting go of that feeling that you need to fulfill others' expectations of you. And your ancestors are saying you don't. You were never required to fulfill those expectations. Like, even if they gave you a nickname, like, you're not the product of that nickname. You're not the product of that cruel background that you grew up in. You are not the product of what everybody said that you were. You're something else. But you have to trust in your abilities here. So you could be wanting to do something very spiritual, especially with the 9 of circles and the Fool coming out together. This is giving me like shaman, some sort of channeling, maybe being a tarot card reader, or this is being, able to, maybe you want to do candle reading or tea reading or something along those lines. Like, some sort of channeling is coming through. Shamanistic work, spiritual healing, ayahuasca is coming through here. And this is something that's going to be very beneficial to you. This is something that is going to bring you closer to your community, but it's also going to bring you a lot closer to your ancestors as well, because it's something that helps you reconnect with a lost practice, is what it feels like. But it's trusting that healing yourself and healing your inner child is going to connect you with that lost practice. And so it's shoring up these old patterns, shoring up these old beliefs, shoring up these hurtful things, and taking a step into a new beginning, right? You're being offered a new beginning here. And so I feel like whatever it was that you went through, even if it's cultural and you understand the reason why people did it, like, that doesn't always necessarily make it right, though, does it? It's no beef against any cultures, right? Like, I feel like that's everybody. Even in my culture growing up, it's like, as soon as you got a nickname, like, that was it. You were called by your nickname. But for me, I never had a nickname. And so I always wanted one. I was like, everybody else has a nickname, but I don't have a nickname. And I always wanted one. I never realized the burden of having a nickname until I got one. And then that's who I was. Like, I didn't want to be that. I wanted to be I wanted to be Becky. Like, that's what I wanted to be, but I wasn't. I was Chule. And so that was the thing. It was like, everybody's like, oh no, it's Chule, it's Chule, it's Chule. And I was like, no, I'm not Chule. I don't know what Chule is. Like, oh, everybody calling me Chule. Like, but it was just, it was a lover to the singer of the song of the, he chose to sing to me. That's what they called her, was Chule. And so that's why I got that name. And so it's just interesting. It's an interesting process when you have it and when you don't, right? Like, and so that's why I feel like that's the thing. It's like you had it and now you're letting it go, and it's almost like it's an identity that you're letting go of. But the thing is, pile 3, is that it's an identity that was never something that you were meant to hold on to, but you couldn't help hold on to it because it was constant. It was like from every angle. It was from every side. And so your ancestors are trying to reconnect you with this portion of yourself that's very spiritual, that's very enlightened, that's very loving and kind, that's very connected, right? I was also seeing the priestess, or the popess, while I was shuffling. So the high priestess. And, you know, like, that's the thing. It's like, you're very connected. You're very intuitive. I also feel like you're very empathic and you tap into these energies, and so you're aware, like, oh, you know, like, nicknames mean that's love, but for you it never felt that way. So it's like you see it, you're like, oh, I get it, right? Like, I get that that's love, I get that that's them. Like, that was kind of like, for me, it was an initiation into the family. Like, I belong to the family now, which is cool. And I get that, right? And I feel like that's how you look at it too. It's like, this was my initiation into the family. But then it came with it a responsibility that you didn't want to hold. And it was too much to hold. Or you were dealing with criticism that, again, that was the initiation. Like, everybody's like, well, if we don't give you a bad time, then you know that we're mad at you. Really? Because, you know, that's just, it's a weird way of looking at it, but that's just how some people are. And we can't change that, but we can change how we view that, right? We can change how we frame ourselves in that situation and saying, like, maybe that was how they initiated me, but that's not how I initiate myself, because there's something here that you're about to get initiated for. And it's about being able to connect with some sort of wisdom, some sort of truth. There's some sort of channeling that's coming in here. There's some sort of healing, like spiritual healing that's coming here, but it's coming from you specifically healing this part of your inner child and nurturing yourself. So let's see what else comes through for you here. On the bottom, we have patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Yeah, so there's no rush, like no rush to try and get to an end result here. They don't want you to rush to an end result. They just want you to go with the flow and let things happen as they're going to happen, because this is a time of abundance for you. Yeah, shamanism is coming through so strongly. We have drum with dream and journey. So you could be getting sacred messages through doing journeying. If you've never done a journey meditation, definitely check it out. That would be beneficial for you. Or you could be getting messages through your dreams. Like, you could have prophetic dreams, or you could get really clear messages when you're in the dream state. You could also be able to do astral travel. Whoa! So let's bring it in, swords. Bring it in, ancestors. We have the traveler, move in a new direction. So astral travel. Some of you guys are being inducted into being astral travelers, and that is such a unique experience. If you haven't had that before, like, you're in for a wild ride, in a good way. In a good way. Once you recognize, like, you're dreaming and you can control your dream state, like, that is next level. You get to do whatever you want, and it's wild, and you can go wherever you want, and that's wild too. This is like, you can visit people and you can learn things about people while you're visiting them. Yeah, look at this. We have Lilith here. Face your shadow. See, that's the thing. Like, this is a part of your shadow. This is a part of your unhealed inner child that's asking for love and acceptance. I feel like the thing is acceptance, accepting that I don't feel like I fit in with that kind of behavior growing up. Like, I don't feel like that was who I was. I didn't want to feel that way. And yeah, I was feeling that way constantly because it was this weight that was put on my shoulders, right? Again, I was feeling that from my back, like feeling like you're carrying this heavy burden. And, you know, understanding that this was a part of your shadow that you're letting go of, but that shadow is also bringing you to a state of freedom. where you're going to be, I feel like many of you are going to be opening up to astral travel if you haven't already, or you're going to be gaining a deeper understanding of what astral travel is, right? Yeah, King Neptune, sensitivity. You're a sensitive soul. You're a sensitive person. You're just someone who wants everybody to live in a state of love and happiness and acceptance. But it's unfortunate we don't live in that type of world, but that's the world that you thrive in. You might resonate with Pleiadian starseed as well coming in, or starseed in general, but specifically Pleiadian. But with King Neptune coming in here, it's just like you have a very deep emotional well. And so it's like what you're seeing is the wounds of people being projected onto you, even though they're putting it as like, oh, it's just a joke. It's just, isn't it a joke if everybody's laughing? But what if not everybody's laughing? Then it's not really a joke, right? And so you're very hypersensitive and aware of that when that's happening. And even when it's happened to you before. And so there's a sense of vulnerability in saying like, this just doesn't feel like who I am. So like maybe you need to be asking certain people who have a nickname for you to not call you by a nickname anymore. Right? Like I'm not that person. I don't want to be called that. And that can feel really scary when that felt like the initiation into your family, right? But if you don't resonate with it, then there's no harm in asking people to not call you that anymore. Or the other thing that's coming through is maybe you have, you know, like you're non-binary or something like that. And it's like, you know, you could have parents that keep calling you by other pronouns than what you choose they and them. And it's like, they keep calling you him or her. And it's like, no, I want to be called they and them. Like, I want that. It's a respect thing, right? Like when someone respects you or when someone really cares about you, they do their best. But also too, like making sure that if that's the case, like giving people some time to adjust, like don't expect them. You know, I had a friend way back when, and she started dating someone that I met them as a woman, but then they transitioned to being a man. And I have no problem with that, right? Like I was fine with the transition. I was fine with that all, but I met them as a woman and I had a hard time transitioning with the pronouns from her to him. And, you know, like he would always get mad at me. And I finally had to tell him, I was like, look, I met you as insert woman name. I knew you as a woman. And I respect your transition and I respect your change. And I want you to know that I respect that. But also I need time to get used to the transition too. Like I'm doing my best and you see that I'm doing my best. Like I had to say something at that point, right? And so I feel like that's what they're saying too. It's like also making sure that you're still giving adequate space. But if they're just doing it to hurt you, or if they're just doing it because they're refusing, you know, like that's the thing. Like if it's a nickname or if it's a pronoun, if they're just doing it because they refuse to change, then that's when you can stand up and say enough is enough, right? Like that's another thing too. But people who care about you, like they're going to do their best for you. And remember that they're humans and they're still going to make mistakes. But there's something here where it's like you're stepping away from the way that you grew up. Like you're choosing a different path for yourself. You're already doing what matters to you. You're walking on your path of purpose. But there's something here. Again, it felt really difficult to honor because it was a part of your shadow. Like this could even be like maybe you realize that you're part of the LGBTQ plus community, and that's something else that's coming through. Again, it doesn't have to be, but that's what's coming through, and not everybody's accepting of that. Even now in 2026, like somebody somewhere has something to say about the way that people love or who people choose to love, you know, like live and let live. That's my philosophy. Like everybody deserves love, no matter who it is. Everybody is deserving of love and unconditional love and being seen. And so that could be part of the shadow, and it's like your family is just not accepting of that, right? Because we have a family energy here. And so just saying, honoring this part of yourself and realizing like, is this something that I can continue moving forward with? And can I accept that they don't accept me? Like, is that something that I can keep inviting into my life? Or is there something that I need to do to ensure that I feel safe and protected? Does that mean walking away? Does that mean, you know, limiting the contact that I have with them? Does that mean every time that I'm with them that I have to defend myself. Is that something I'm comfortable doing, right? It's just honoring where you're at. We can't change how people show up in any one situation, but we can change ourselves. And it's not changing ourselves to adapt to their situation. It's changing ourselves so that we can create safety for ourselves, okay? And that's what's coming through here. So we've got, the deviant. Oh, this is Tower energy or the House of God with chaos and destruction. So something's falling apart here. But it's interesting that it's coming out as the deviant. So there's someone here who's just kind of like absolutely playing arrogant and ignorant almost. It's like, I get to be arrogant. I can do whatever I want. And this is what you're healing from. And your ancestors are saying, like, overcoming this arrogant energy, the deviant energy, the person who's playing dumb, but knows exactly how they're treating you, who's pulling one over or trying to pull one over on you. You're aware of that, like remembering that this is something that is chaos and destruction. Like, you don't have to be a part of that. You're a part of creation. Okay, you're part of creation and peace, and that's the energy that you're walking into. And whatever that means for you, go that way. Okay, so this is spiritually helping you to step into an energy of peace and creation. Even if that means saying goodbye, even if that means letting go, even if that means just setting very firm, solid boundaries, or asking for respect, or asking them, or telling. Sometimes you have to tell people, like, this is who I am now. You either accept it or you don't. And remember that there's consequences to both sides of that. And if they don't want to accept it, then just know that that's where they're coming from. But don't let people push you around is what this feels like. So there's like a cultural thing at play here, but there's also like someone who's just absolutely unwilling to see you as you are, right? And especially if you're stepping into the spiritual community and trying to be seen in the spiritual community. Surrender. I can release my need to control. Yeah, we can't control how people see us, right? We can't control what they're doing. We can't control how they show up. We can only control ourselves. And that's the thing that's the most important. And that's where surrender and acceptance come into play, right? We can accept that they're basically the den of snakes. Look at the snake. There was this interesting thing that I saw a long time ago, and it was talking about how forgiveness works like this. We forgive to free ourselves, but forgiveness doesn't mean that I keep walking back into the den of snakes, right? Like, I don't keep walking back into their nest to get bit again. I know the viper's a viper. That's what acceptance is too. It's like recognizing the viper is a viper. And it's not going to ever change its nature just because you recognize it's a viper. Like, just because you recognize it's a viper, it's not going to become a bunny. It's not going to become a little fluffy kitty cat that you can cuddle up to. It's always going to be poisonous, and it's always going to be dangerous. Like, we accept the fact that it's a dangerous person, or we accept the fact that they're dangerous for us. That's what we're accepting, right? It's not saying like, oh, I realize you're a viper, so let me keep bringing myself into this terrible situation. That's not what we're doing. So surrendering is just recognizing what can we control and controlling those parts. And it's usually just ourselves, which means taking ourselves away or protecting ourselves. Okay. And then we've got, this came out in another pile too. Oh, and I don't know if I said this, but if you did watch all three piles, leave a purple heart down below. That's for those of you that stick out the whole reading for me. And I really do appreciate it. And if you're here for pile 3 alone, I appreciate you just as much. I'm just honored for those of you that hang out with me on these readings. I'm really, really grateful. But we have the Root of Air with Explore. And I feel like this is, I feel like this is the Knight, similar to the Knight of Swords here, right? And this is like being your own hero here. But to explore, it's like you're the one that has to be your own hero. And sometimes you have to go away from what's familiar, right? And that's what this is saying here. It's just being able to step away from what's familiar and to embrace a new normal for yourself, or a new familiar for yourself, which might be very uncomfortable at first. So we're going to take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book for you. Butterfly transformation. Yeah. There's a huge transformation here for you. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, all 3 cards were for the air. So it's about learning or speaking a deeper truth about ourselves. All 3 of them came from the air energy. So yeah, some of you could have very well watched all 3 piles with me. So thank you. All right, where are you at, butterfly? Right in front of me. Butterfly. You my butterfly, pile 3. You're my butterfly. Thank you for being the butterfly. undergoing great change and transformation. The energy of the butterfly is within us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships, or if you love your job, perhaps your career. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time. And we got the patience card too. So it's really important for you to be patient at this time, pile 3. It's going to take some time. There's a transitioning period right now. Okay, it says during this time, especially if the butterfly is you, let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon, committing to one daily routine, a meal, practice, or prayer done at the same place and time will do wonders for lifting a butterfly's spirits. So when you're in balance, you're very cheerful and graceful. Yeah, you are a beautiful energy, and don't ever question that, okay? It says when out of balance, fragile, frustrated, and to bring into balance is daily routine. So sticking with your daily routine will help you find balance, especially in this time of transformation and transition, because I do feel like it has to do with family situations and standing up for yourself. That's what has come through this whole reading, and remembering that this is bringing you closer to your divine purpose, and you're already walking your divine path. So sticking up for yourself is basically you opening the door to your third eye and the crown chakra, okay? So this is what I see here for you today. Here's a big, big hug, pile 3. You're not alone. You are loved. You are supported. You are accepted. And if no one's told you that today, then just know that I feel that way about you, because I'm honored to have you here as a part of my tribe, truly, okay? So if you felt like this was your reading, leave the butterfly emoji down below and say, transitions and transformation bring to me my ability to connect better with my spiritual team and with source, spirit, God, whatever you call it. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides, as well as a special shout out to your ancestors for coming in for this message today. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human.